Pounders. Happy best ball summer. BBM5. It's already here. But is it the best time to be drafting? And we're going to get a little further into this before we do jump into a room. If you're just joining us, go down, slap the like if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. And let's go. These rankings are basically just the big board rankings. They are basically just rounded to a whole number. Some of our favorite draft picks in CSV rankings, man, there's going to be a lot of movement, especially in these next couple days. But the problem is a lot of people are drafting based off of rankings, which is good. But the biggest advantage to drafting right now is getting the value in between their future ADP and their current ADP. We don't have the schedule, so how do we find an advantage to drafting right now? That's getting these guys before the ADP movement. But I've realized today from doing just a few drafts, and we have troops on the ground drafting multiple teams for us. So we do have some average ADPs on some of the rookies like Worthy, Ladd, and Keon Coleman. Shout out to Ben May. Appreciate you, dude. He did 10 drafts, so small sample size, but it's still something to go based off of, which is really good. I can't say that I want to jump in and do a large percent of drafts today just because of the amount of people reaching. And it's okay that, yeah, sure, maybe you're getting Worthy, right, at 66 and his ADP is 94. Let's use this for an example. Sure, his ADP might be 58, 59, 60 in a week or so, but you're only getting 6 picks of value. So is that 6 picks, 8 picks enough to be drafting today? That's where I have a problem. And it's not every draft room, right? So like you're also trying to hit like the lottery of getting into a room that is relatively soft that maybe isn't drafting off rankings. And there are rooms like that. We got Keon Coleman at 99, which seems to be after ADP if we just did today's ADPs. And then we got Ladd McConkey relatively late as well. So it is interesting. Yeah, he's going to rise more than that. I agree. But it's going to take a little bit of preseason buzz, I feel like, to get over, let's say, like the Jordan Reed area, which is around, he's in the mid 50s. So at 59, I do think it's going to take a little bit more of preseason buzz. But if you had to give him an ADP today versus where his ADP will be in a few months, is it really worth beating that ADP by 8 to 10 picks by drafting today with so much unknown? You're not able to correlate week 17, these playoff matchups. That's where I'm starting to have difficulty. And it's because the draft community is getting sharper. It's because people are using rankings, which is generally a good thing. I would not draft blind today. I would go based off of someone's rankings. If it's not ours, then ETR, Karane's, someone's. You have to have an idea of where the other people in the field are valuing these players. It doesn't mean I would select them there necessarily, but a lot of my CSV rankings are there to show where you can get potential closing line value and where I think that player is moving or trending towards. And these CSV rankings will be updated every so often when I feel that there is either major news that creates major movement on a player. So that's the first thing to get out of the way. Let's do a little rookie sample size from Ben. Let's go Worthy first. In 10 drafts, Worthy had an ADP of 74, which is pretty good. Like that, there is pretty good value to be had there. The highest he went is 61, which I believe is exactly where we have him in the CSV rankings. And the lowest is 87, which is a great scoop. 87, that person's happy. There's no doubt about that. That person's happy. That's why you're drafting today. In a lot of the rooms, though, as the rooms get sharper as well, they see other people start to reach for him at 66, 67. Now the next person, the next room's like, oh, I have to get him at 64, 62 in this range in order if I want to get my worthy exposure. It's tough. Keon Coleman, average ADP today of 108, which is also very nice. The highest he went is 127, which is really close to where he's going, 138. And the lowest he went, however you want to say it, highest, he went at 94. So there is a very strong chance that he even goes higher than 94, in my opinion. There's a very strong chance. Lad, average ADP of 93.3. Highest he went 99, lowest at 85. And I think that's a good range for Lad. It's basically in that Christian Watson, D Hop off the board, like this range right here, right before AD, who has to be a huge faller, in my opinion. So some of these ADPs are so wonky. So if you do want to get a pretty big leg up on the field, subscribe to the Patreon, any tier, or the Maxer on YouTube memberships in order to get the value there in closing line value. Small, very small sample size, but it does show at least a pattern of where these players are moving. And the other thing is I did a few drafts today just basically to see what's the drafting landscape. What players, where's the value pockets on some of these players on different positions? Like right now, QB is one that if I'm not getting like Lamar, Mahomes, Stroud, who I think should be rising, even though Lamar seems to still be going at ADP or just dipping, I just like the Lamar click. Stroud, Mahomes, who I think will rise over the next couple weeks. A-Rich, too, will be a riser, in my opinion. Kyler Murray will rise. I'm trying to focus with these early drafts, the risers. If I'm not getting one of those guys, it seems like we could get really good value on these late QBs with 3 QB builds right now. We know that New Orleans tried to trade up. It didn't happen. Seattle tried. It didn't happen. You're going to see JJ rise. You're going to see even Daniel Jones rise from 209. So I do think 3 QB teams with 3 of these late guys could actually be very strong right now. And then you're able to scoop these positional players and maybe hit on some of those ADPs before they get out of control as well. But we did sneak into a draft. So let's pull it up. Shout out to the YouTube as well as the Patreon memberships. We appreciate you guys. We get pick 3. And it's between Hill, Chase, and Bijan. This is my second draft at 3. We did go Hill on 1. We're going to switch it up with Bijan. I want even exposure, most likely, in BBM especially, to these top 8, 9 guys. Puka, if you guys were like Puka stans, Puka was a pretty big draft winner, in my opinion. Uh, Team not really, they don't add anyone at the position. Even someone like Robinson, who went super late, those shares aren't dead. So I do like Puka at ADP. I might have Garrett Wilson above them, though, above this group. So let's see. We're 17 picks away. Our next pick is going to be at 22. We got a few pounders in here at 2, at 4, at 5. Steph at 10. Jeff at 11. This is a pounders draft. So if you guys want to see sharp ADPs, this is a stream to watch. These are going to be sharp ADPs. Garrett Wilson goes to 7. Let's go. Don't disappoint. Don't disappoint. Josh says, building a filthy Cincy Atlanta Charger stack right now. Hoping to join a Pounders draft if you do one in a second. Oh, all right. I think you missed this one. I don't think Josh is in this one, unless this is Josh. When the YouTube name doesn't match the Underdog name, there's so many. There's so many to remember. I have most of them down. Hot take, Worthy, biggest bust of 2024. I could see it based off of just how high he's going to go. I could see it just based on price alone. I like London at 13. I do like this. The Harrison London double click. I'm completely cool with that, especially because Kyron has to fall. Gibbs at 14 with Puka. Fun. Steph goes Ayuk. She's starting the wide receiver, pounding the wide receivers early today. Already rising up Ayuk 5 picks. I don't mind it at all. Steph knows what's up. Yeah. The Ayuk click is he feels relatively safe to be staying. There's still somehow trade rumors with Pittsburgh right now in San Fran. Then you had Gallup go to Vegas. Like that doesn't change anything for us. That doesn't change anything for us. Maybe it helps the QB just a little bit, but did Gallup end up in Vegas or yeah, the Raiders. $3 million $1 deal. E. We did not click Gallup all in the big board, so that one feels good. Achane off the board. I do have him sliding from 21, but 21's fine. I'm honestly cool with Debo here. Let's bring in Deebs. Deebs at 22. In our first 2 drafts, we got Devontae Adams very late. 22 and at 24 or 25 when we picked with CMC. We had a CMC, Achane, Devontae Adams start. That was a fun team until, the underdog notifications were silenced, and we didn't we didn't get a noti. We made it work, though. We made it work. Crazy room already, yeah, people are going and getting their guys. It is officially Bestball Mania summer of 2024. Evans and DJ Moore for the 1 spot to pair with CMC. CeeDee Lamb, Neighbors, and this is the thing, like, I'm not gonna be doing many BBMs because I don't think there's the same value in drafting early as there was last year. This has to be Waddle for us. This has to be Waddle for us. We'll bring in CD here at 27, and we're off to the races with Bijan, Debo, and Waddle. I like our base. Good base here. Good base. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. I mean, the small chance that it happens, it's it's not wrong. And then that's where you're really gonna get a rise on Ricky Pearsall. Right now, Ricky, I think, goes in a good range. He's gonna rise from here just because of the fun landing spot, but really to unlock his upside, you would need either an injury or you would need a surprise trade from either Debo or Ayuk. I mean, it's not someone I wanna be under 8% of on in this offense if you do get that outcome. Let's put this there. Okay. Pittman off the board, Josh Jacobs at 29, followed by Diggs. Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts off the board, Sam Laporta off the board. Still some good clicks in this range. I love DK here at ADP. I love DK here at ADP. Cup, another one that people really aren't talking about. He was a winner in the draft. Now, LA did try. It seems like they were trying to trade up for Bowers, and it didn't happen. So maybe some of those late Allen stacks are actually live right now at tight end. If you're looking for a third, maybe you have an early Cup, maybe bring in Staffy, a late stack. It's an option. It's an option. Derrick Henry off the board at 37. He went at 20 in my first draft. 20, which like, okay, we get it. Good situation, but shit, like give me him closer to his ADP. And that's how we were able to get Achan and Neighbors went in the top 20 as well, which is just so odd. So odd. That's how we're able to get that Devontae Adams Achan fall. Damn, damn. Oh man, it's not gonna stop. It's not gonna stop. They're just gonna take They're just gonna take L's all year. They have to. If they lose in the playoffs, it's gonna be because they didn't have that one first round pick to get them over the hill. That's gonna be the reason. It's gonna be the excuse. No matter what, it's it's a world full of pain for Atlanta fans. All right, let me. I have my ranks back here as well. In the shadows. In the shadows. Let's see who's on the board still. Okay. Okay. We had a peak. We had a peak. ETN off the board at 41. Man, I'm gonna have a decent amount of ETN this year. I'm gonna have a decent amount. Nothing crazy because I do like the receivers in this range, but I will definitely be in that 10% plus on ETN. No! Oh, shot through the heart. Boom. Of course it's Frank. Drafted next to Frank. It's just always a world full of pain. Always he puts us in a blunder. Puts us in a blender, which makes us blunder. There we go. Safe Flowers is actually not my favorite click in this range. We're gonna bring in Pacheco. Zay Flowers, I do like to get my shares mainly with Lamar. He's going to be one of those like 80-20 guys. 80% I'm going to have Lamar, 20% I won't. And that 20%, I probably want him to be a faller. Yeah, everyone's hyped. Will, welcome to the live stream, man. Everyone's hyped. Yeah, Pacheco is another draft winner. We have him ranked over Cook and White right now. So wanting to get ahead of that, even if we do end up selecting him closer to where he goes, don't want to be on the fallers unless you think it's worth it, right? Like think about Josh Jacobs a few years ago. Fell through the whole offseason. I was lucky to be on the narrative that like contract year, he's going to have to ball out, which got us to 16%, and then doubling down when he fell also helped. But just because they're falling or just because they're rising, closing line value is not just like the end all be all. I'm surprised we didn't go Rice Mahomes here. It's so common, I feel like, to go Rice Mahomes here. He goes Zay. I'm cool with bringing Rice in. Rice at 51. I mean, it falls off fast at receiver. So, like, if we're not going Rice, we're going Cooper. Kirk is also a good option, but then, I mean, you get a slide. Like, this is not a real ADP on Marquise Brown. This is not a real ADP. And people are still selecting him there because there's some ADP drafters, but that's it's not real. Yeah, super common. I did it even today, which doesn't necessarily make it a good thing. So, like, this is a cool team because we still have Rice, but we also leverage Mahomes at the same point with Pacheco. So, this is a nice little way to sort of deviate from the chalky Mahomes with Rice here. Now, these QBs are starting to become values, in my opinion. Kelsey went off the board at 38. Man, Jeff really liking that Kelsey click. He's someone we have ranked way down, but it's just he's in a spot that I'm probably not going to get a lot of Kelsey, and that's okay. Really leaning into the age thing, leaning into the limited snaps right before the real playoffs start, which is where you want him the most. Should he definitely, and to another extent, A.T. Perry, and now it's worth it. Jeff gets a sliding Mahomes. Now it's worth it. 7 pick slide. Kyle Pitts and Worthy off the board at 61. How much further can Worthy rise? Like, with the training camp buzz, like, you're getting reports that, great connection with Mahomes. Like, okay, so we'll rank him up. Does he go above Mark Andrews? Does he go above Amari Cooper? Does he go above Christian Kirk? Like, who's he rise above? Terry? Like, in this 60 range, I already think he goes, like, in this 60 to 61 range is where we have him. But, like, in a nuts outcome with a lot of positive news, how many receivers is he jumping in this range? Like, Odunze, in my opinion, I have ranked way down the board. Just so many mouths to feed with the rookie QB. Yeah, just try to think it out logically. So, especially right now, so much unknown. I get it. I get it. I can just wait on that though, in my opinion. I could just wait on that for more information. I love this range coming up. I love this range coming up. I think there is actually a lot of landmines in this range. Marquise Brown 69, man. Okay. We'll bring in Evan Ingram. Clear winner in the draft, in my opinion, as well as Christian Kirk. They bring in Brian Thomas Jr. If anything, I think that's going to help spread the field. And they've designed plays for Ingram. So he's just pretty safe, has a pretty good ceiling as well, obviously, as we saw a couple years ago. What if he shows up in the best shape of his life? I'm assuming we're still talking about Worthy. Best shape of his life is probably 7 pounds heavier than he was in the combine, which means what? Like, are we rising him above Christian Kirk? You can as a ceiling play in best ball. I could see that being sold on me. I could see that being sold on me. Above Zay Flowers, above Jaden Reed. I think where I get to Reed and Amari, that's where I start to have a lot of pushback. Like, I find it hard for him to bust into the top 4 rounds. I have trouble finding him in the top 48. That's like, yeah, sure, we can count Rome out. Even if you want to drop Keenan Allen out of the top 48, it's gonna be interesting. Okay, so we're sitting here with Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, I'm cool with. I would like to, however, bring in another receiver. I don't think Chris Godwin's really going to be a riser. This isn't a good range, in my opinion, to bring in some of my other favorite clicks. So let's just go Aaron Jones here. I think he actually is relatively safe now that they don't bring anyone else in. They're just rocking Ty Chandler now behind him. So I'm cool with Aaron Jones this year. JJ McCarthy's best friend, it's always the running back. It's always the running back. I know. I know. I know it. This is so true. Steph goes, Pete will steam worthy. Like, I know. It's funny. It is funny to some extent. So this is looking like we are going to be leaning towards a 3 QB build. And when I do these sort of builds, I do typically want to get my 2 tight ends. So I leave an extra roster position for either running back or receiver. Just from a building perspective, it feels so right. And let's see, maybe we get a surprise fall to us, but we do have to catch up at receiver. And my God, what a bunch of bad landing spots for these rookie running backs. Lad McConkey off the board at 83 here. I'm cool with it. After Godwin is off, that feels correct. That feels correct. Let me see where I have him ranked. We have him at 76. So it's feels right. Ben says Reed and Worthy are nowhere close to the same value, in my opinion. Oh, sheesh. Here's a hot take. Zap says, I feel like Reed will be round 3, maybe 2 next year. Now, you can look at Keon Coleman in 2 ways, right? Is Keon Coleman gonna be the clear 1? And then he benefits from Curtis Samuel, and he benefits from Khalil Shakur being the other receivers in this room? Or does Curtis Samuel and Khalil Shakir benefit from the Keon Coleman selection? That's gonna be that's gonna be fun to see that play out. And Josh Allen likes to spread the ball. 2 clicks, 2 clicks. 2 guys on my mind. Zamir, baby. Yeah, Zamir is crazy. Crazy value. I don't know if I'd have to double check Zamir over DeAndre Swift. Dude, Frank has successfully stolen 2 tight ends from me now. Oh my god, Frank, put this man on the other end of the board. Please, one time. If we go Ferguson there, obviously we're not getting Dak back, which isn't ever the worry. Do we just go We're just gonna go Coleman here at 94. We're just gonna go Coleman here at 94. This is one of those I think he ends up here. How much higher does he rise from this spot? That is that's gonna be the question. So this is one of those, like, I don't think it's actually the best value click. I just put myself in a position where I can't really go running back here, and I thought I could push Purdy. That's but he wanted the Purdy CMC. Strange. Strange. Steph had Ayuk, so I felt pretty safe with Debo doing that, but you win some, you lose some. Mike Williams would be nice here. It would give us another out at QB. We can add in a second pairing like Conklin with Ingram. Could stop at 2 there. Might be a little thin, but making a bet on Conklin and then potentially being able to bring in a little double with Rodgers is possible here. So we'll bring in Mike Williams at 99 here. Najee off the board. Yeah, Zamir went where? Zamir went at 87 to Steph. Yeah, I have him aggressively ranked. Let's just say that. Hawkinson at 104? Is this guy like the PT trainer for Hawk? Does he know? Does he know something? Yeah, we had to catch up a receiver, and I was okay with it being Keon Coleman and Purdy, but where the QBs, like, I'm not reaching on to in that spot. I think that's pretty gross. So at 99, 12 picks, it's a full round. Just 2 is one of those guys that falls though. Brooks off the board at 107. Brooks got a good landing spot. Chuba sort of becomes the, like, Jerome Ford type where you think maybe Jerome Ford will have a little more work in the beginning of the season, although there's rumors around Ford, like, could be a surprise cut candidate right now with the addition of, like, Naheem Hines and Donta Foreman, which is just it's it's strange. That'd be surprising. But Jonathan Brooks entering this offense, Chuba Hubbard sort of becomes like the Jerome Ford of the team, potentially bigger role early and then losing it once the starter, gets healthy. Javonte Williams, I have as a super faller. It's just the offense, 3 running backs, a lot of mouths to feed. I don't really wanna be guessing, especially in a bad offense. B-Rob off the board at 111, super safe in my opinion. B-Rob's a safe click. Steph doing a little 1-3-5-1 so far with White at 63, which is let's see where we have him because I wanna say that's actually freaking, like, spot on. Let's see. Yeah, it's actually passed. Frank, you've done me dirty almost every round. I'm just ready. Yeah, I'm just ready for disappointment. I'm just ready for disappointment. We obviously I would love to have double tapped Tua and T-Law there with Ingram. Okay, we have to bring in Tua here. Get our first QB out of the way. We'll get our first QB out of the way. Tyreek Hill squad passes on QB because he already had A-Rich and Love. I like Chase Brown here at 119. We're getting to a spot where can't say SMW pounder. Listening in. Listening in on the tactics here. We can't give anything away. Yeah. No, I would say this was too much of a reach, 100% on Coleman. Can he end up there? Sure. It's just that spot of the draft, wide receivers, someone needs to be pulled into that range. There's no one that goes there. I think we're bringing in Singletary here. Singletary is another one that was just a major winner in the NFL draft. We get him 4 picks behind ADP. Steph, who is this referring to, Keon or your last pick? B-Rob. Frank, I'm sorry, man. You have to be sorry. Do your thing. Do your thing. Yeah, I like this. I kinda figure you're gonna bring in Davis there, a little double there in Jacksonville. Strong tight ends. I would have loved to gone Fergie there. Someone I wanna be on early. Might just okay, I see. It's a couple minutes. Yeah, Billy. It's a weird spot in the draft here at 94 where you have that wide receiver dead zone. So, sure, I'm comfortable with bringing Tyler Lockett up there, Courtland Sutton as well, Mike Williams is fine, but there is a soft spot in the draft at wide receiver here, and someone is gonna be pulled into this range, and where we force ourselves into that position by going 3 RBs, but there was a run right here, so I don't mind being stronger at running back. This is gonna be a 5 running back build. That's where we're gonna make up one of those roster spots. ADPs stop mattering. especially as you start to near like round 8, 10, 12, less and less. The ADPs matter. It's these early guys that you really wanna be ahead of ADP on. And then obviously the mega risers. Like, so this is in my opinion, like a great spot to bring in Ricky, like 138. Zeke in the 12, I can't, dude. I can't get there. This is very interesting. Wow. We can go Chubb here and just stop. Chubb at 142? Is this ever gonna happen again? We can house Chubb. He can miss freaking 10 weeks. Like, I'm cool with this team. Yeah, we're done at RB. So, again, we're putting our backs against the wall in this draft, which I typically don't do in draft room. I like to stay open to any values that fall, but, let's let it ride here. Let's let it ride. The Garrett Wilson team should be to the right of us, which means Rodgers should be free here, but we've seen crazy shit already. We've seen crazy shit already in this room. This is just like on this team especially, Nick Chubb makes so much sense. I love the Brandon Cooks click. Dude, they didn't add anyone. Like, they didn't add anyone. Brandon Cooks was gonna be one of our clicks here. Kendrick Miller, okay. I was worried about this guy in particular going QB, but he even if he is going to third QB, he has to focus Will Levis. Has to. Now we're getting to, like, that Jerome Ford spot that we're talking about where we think Chuba belongs, and this for us is going to be Rodgers. Pair him with Mike Willie, Conklin becomes a target for us at the end of the draft. Also, maybe the rookie as well. And lost Gallup. Brandon Cooks is wheels up at ADP. He's wheels up at ADP. He gets him 3 picks past. He did start extremely slow. It was disgusting. But the way he finished the last 8 weeks, he ended up with, like, 8 touchdowns too, which I don't think a lot of people realize. He was actually a very good target for the red zone for Dak, and Dak was throwing the ball a shit ton in the red zone last year. Dude, how nice are these 18-round drafts? I get like, I loved 20, and I loved just being able to dig deeper than the field, and man, dude, we had fun. We had fun in the big board in round 19 and 20. Even Malik Washington shares are looking to be paying off. Let me pull up oh my god, let me pull up the Malik Washington love. We have Tua, we can't oversell it. We can't oversell it yet. We'll show it at the end. We'll show a little treat at the end. Jerome Ford at 154 for Steph, just still crushing values. Taking a bet on Rico, maybe challenging Zeke for the starting job. Again, like Zeke was probably the best running back to join the group for Rico. He was like he can challenge Zeke potentially at his age, the lack of efficiency. Like, who else would you want that you wouldn't want like Jonathan Brooks? You're thinking by the end of the year, like you're not gonna get much from Rico. So wow, JJ at 160. This is interesting. Oh man, this is and we said it at the start of the stream, J Dubs. QBs are really underpriced right now, especially the late QBs. We're talking about going 3 QB builds. Wouldn't really advise it with Jalen Hurts. And you see a Bateman click at 162. This is why people are drafting right now. These like 4 drafters in the middle of the room. This is why people are drafting right now. We did get lucky with this room. We did get lucky with this room. I like Roman Wilson to Pittsburgh. Chuba's gotta come off the board at some point. Like, we're in value town here with Chubes. Oh my god, there's no way. There's no way he reached up for Jonnu here. No way. Logan, where do I have him ranked? God damn it. See, the people got the ranks here. We are playing from behind. Damn. Dude, Pat Fry, 21 picks after ADP as a draft winner, like, I'm not gonna be too mad. I'm not I'm not gonna be too mad here. This is this is actually sick. Pat Fry at 166 is sick. We'll take it. We will take it gladly. The Jonnu click I did want there as a 3rd tight end. Pat Fry and Ingram, especially the value we get on Pat Fry, I could see stopping at 2 here would be fine. Steph said she started a QB run. Baker, JJ, Derek Carr. Okay. Now we go and get our correlation here. We're still gonna correlate. We'll reach up 11 picks on Corley for some correlation. Had to. Had to. Had to. Let's go. All right. This is starting to shape up. It's looking pretty wild at running back. I will say, show me a stronger running back class. Show me a stronger running back class. This is Chubb at 142. You're not gonna select him there. Like, are you are I'm not gonna have a ton of Chubb. I think he is a terrible click at 99, but when he falls to, like, that 120 range, in that area, start to look at him a little sideways, like, "Can I make it work?" It just made too much sense here. It allows us to stop at 5.2, which is another thing to be thinking about when you're doing these builds. Does this player allow you to stop and gain an extra roster position on at the end of the draft? I don't mind adding a 3rd. If we go 3 QBs, 3 tight ends, we stop at 5 running backs, that is 11, that means we have to stop at 7 receivers, and I don't think we can do that. So, it has to come out of somewhere, right? It's either gonna come out of QB, which is that's what I'd prefer. I'd prefer to lean into 2, but with Tua and Rodgers, not gonna be an extremely strong pairing. Don't have rushing upside. There's nothing sexy about that, but we may be forced to lean into those 2. It's gonna depend on who's on the board, who we think we can get the most points from, who raises the ceiling of this team the most. If you guys are just joining us, go down, slap the like on the live stream. The CSV rankings are officially live, top 150. We're gonna be doing the top 16 tonight, and those will be sent out tomorrow. Any tier of the Patreon, link in the description, or YouTube memberships, the Maxer. Gotta take Pat there. Gotta take Pat there. Even if Jonnu's on the board there, I'm still taking Pat Fry there. Although I wanted Jonnu Smith, it's not bad because we still get correlation here with the rookie, and we probably couldn't afford to double tap tight end. And then we're not getting Corley back, so the Jonnu click actually, I think, helped us. It helped us. God damn it. God damn it. This is this is who we wanted to come back to us. And now I suppose we can show the Malik Washington love. Oh yeah, we'll get some eliminator streams. What a fun contest and a huge edge there. I'm doing a lot of I'm gonna be doing a lot of these eliminators right now as slow drafts. Damn, bro. The Malik Washington click. Let's pull up. We have it somewhere in the Discord. I think we put it in the risers and fallers section. If you guys aren't already in the Discord, people are posting news on these players that just people follow so many people on Twitter. You can't follow them all. You can't see all the news. So everyone really chips in at breaking news in the Discord. Everything you want all in one spot. Doesn't get better than that. Dude, Drake Drake May here might just have to be the click. He might just have to be the click. I think Hunter Henry went off the board super early, even before ADP. I just want to check that. He went off at 168, which isn't actually bad. Went off right at ADP. Thought it was early. Drake May is someone that probably isn't going to start every game this year. So getting him at 190, I do see him falling to this range. See Conklin off the board, which is probably going to make us lean into 3 tight ends at this point. I'll have to, yeah, probably have to lean into these 2 tight ends, especially with the value you got on Pat Fry. It does make more sense when I do have him more aggressively ranked than 144 as well. Dude, there's no way Javon Baker just went off. Oh my god, I'm just getting sniped all over the place. You guys hate me tonight. What is it? Usually you guys are kind. Pat, we appreciate you so much. Thank you for what you do. Alright, I think we're just gonna click Wandale here. We're just gonna click Wandale. We get Wandale Robinson. We're talking about 22 picks after ADP. They added 1 receiver. Like, I'm cool with Wandale being the wide receiver 2 in New York. You guys gonna let me scoop value, like, I'm gonna get the spoon out. We're gonna get the spoons out. Don't let me scoop that much value. That's crazy. We can still add, like, a super late Kendrick Bourne, and we have enough wide receiver power to house Kendrick Bourne for a few weeks. KJ Osborne, I'd probably rather just have Kendrick Bourne and say he misses 2 to 4 weeks or he starts slow for the first month. I'd rather probably just go Kendrick Bourne. We get a little mini stack too with Robinson and Singletary in New York. Got a freaking full New York team here. That's how you know we draft unbiasedly as a Patriots fan. We don't let player takes get in the way of money. – 26 likes on the live stream. Let's see if we can hit 30 before the draft ends. The goal will be set extremely fairly. These QBs are still on the board. Levis, it's pick 206. Pick 206. Man, these guys are just screaming values right now. Where's the guy with the Tennessee double stack? What's he doing? Where is it? It's right here. Dude's just too busy bringing in Zach Ertz, man. You have Brock Purdy and Justin Herbert. You could definitely use. He's got 4 tight ends. I get it, but you can get a 4th tight end here. What is happening? These draft rooms, man. These draft rooms. And you might get them back too, which is even more sick. It's even more sick. These guys are going to go undrafted. These guys are going to go undrafted. So sick. Clyde, sneaky winner in the draft. This room is nuts. Thrash, I like the click, but I'm probably not going to have too much. Let's add a little Kendrick Bourne for end of season upside with Drake May. I would have liked Malik Washington in this spot at 195. That would have been ideal. But Wan'Dale Robinson, that far of a drop, I don't think that's going to consistently happen. I could check my other drafts, but I don't think he fell to 195 in any of them. All right, let's pull up the clip of Malik Washington and sort of why he's going to get steamed so quick, especially in small areas, change of direction, kind of like Demario Douglas in a way, but he's more dimensional down the field. Risers and fallers. Where did we put this? Okay, here it is. So much love for Malik Washington. Okay, this up. Let's see. All right, here's the tweet. Right, 32 beat writers retweeting it. Dolphins GM to Malik Washington. He's been bugging me to draft you here in these last couple of rounds. Talking about the coach. Talk about McDaniels. That's an understatement. I've been seriously annoying towards him. Your rookie year can be very productive if you're a pro, which I know you can be immediately because you're going to have the opportunity. During the draft call with Malik Washington, Greer said McDaniel had been bugging him to draft Malik for multiple rounds. My guess is when they took Mo Kamara, Mike was banging the table from Malik, but Kamara was such a good value that he couldn't pass him up. And this is what you get. This is the sort of insider information you get in the risers and followers section. Link in the description to the Discord. And then, you gotta have a clip. Just great for Dynasty too, but I do think he can have an impact, can have some spike weeks, especially at his ADP in Miami. And then you have the potential of Waddle missing time or Hill missing time. What's the chances there? I mean, it's like a 30% chance in any given game that someone leaves at a certain point. Nooms, the people are asking. Don't come in here and ask me. Make it happen, Nooms. Debbie for Omega, welcome to the live stream. I lost Gino on a triple stack at his ADP to the Kenneth Walker drafter. Tragic. I was in that room. It was tragic. Yeah, you tell us, Nooms. You tell us. I get the next cab, by the way. Sometimes they're drafted, sometimes they fall. And when I'm not stacked, right? I know it's tragic to see him basically go at the very end of the draft. But appreciate everyone coming out. The first live stream of Bestball Mania in the books. Let us go over the teams real quick before we take off. We're not going to disappoint you like that. Drake May at 190. I think he does end up going in that range anyway, so I'm not overly I'm not going to celebrate this pick, but I thought I could have at least correlated him with Javon Baker. We end up going Kendrick Bourne, which is also fine. We had to mix it up. SMW Pounder in the live stream, Dak and Bryce Young might be a little thin, but I'm okay with leaning in on 2 QBs. Goddard, Schultz, and Sanders. I like that. Correlate with Bryce Young at the end here. A little higher on Goddard than I am, but you made an entry at your first tight end on Goddard. Never a bad idea. James Cook at ADP, Montgomery, Chase Brown, Jalen Wright, who I think has to fall more than this, in my opinion. Chuba at 167. I like that ADP for him. And then Ty Chandler at 170. Like, these are handcuff running backs, backup running backs, maybe change of pace. But that's really good range for both of those guys, in my opinion. CeeDee Lamb, Neighbors, Olave, Zay Flowers, Deontay Johnson. So 5 receivers by Deontay, which is strong. So you decide to stop at 7. Get Leggett, a little double stack, I guess triple with Chuba and Bryce. And then Javon Baker, snipe artist. Thank you for, yeah, I saw the comment, Steph. Here it is. Dak Young. So a little 2-6-7-3. well balanced, really well balanced, even if I think Wright may have gone a little early. I like where you got Chase Brown, though. So it sort of makes up for it. And then these two players, super values. Neighbors at 23 is fine. He's going to go anywhere from like, in any given draft, from like 22 to 32, depending on people in that room, if they're higher or lower on his landing spot. But yeah, this is super balanced team. Goddard, Schultz, Sanders, good correlation, good draft from SMW. King of Kings. Basically, this is probably going to be the team I wanted to draft. Joe Burrow and Lawrence off to a good start. Achane, Harris, Charbonnet, Antonio Gibson, Vidal, this is a good range for especially where he's been sort of getting scooped up. I wonder, I'm sure in some rooms he's gone in the last round in the 19th and the 18th, but Frank remains high on him through the big board and he's continuing it in BBM 5, I suppose. Bucky at 196 and Alexander Madison. It's a hero running back build. It's a fun one. Second running back off the board is Harris, so it's sort of like double anchor. 12 picks after ADP. That's nice for this team too. Chase, Pittman, Kirk, Marquise Brown, Davis, Dotson, and Zay Jones. Dotson's a small draft winner in my opinion. Marquise Brown, I think, has to fall further than this. Kirk, Pittman. So you got good floor, weekly floor, ceiling. It's a nice squad. Nice squad. With Trey McBride and Ferguson. Those are the two that I wanted to stop with. Good draft from Frank here. Really good draft from Frank. Logan right behind him. Caleb and Deshaun Watson leans into these two, which I think is fine from a draft capital perspective in 18 rounds. You have to change the mindset. I think you guys are already doing a really good job at adjusting to 18 rounds. Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, Stevenson, who's a winner. Zach Moss, Rashawn Johnson, and Braylon Allen at 197. This seems like a super fair price for Braylon Allen. If we assume that he can take over the secondary role behind Breece Hall, 197 it'd be really good. Now there is still that uncertainty. Maybe Izzy's the RB2. I just have a feeling that Braylon Allen would be able to outperform Izzy. Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Roma Dunze, Amari Cooper, Michael Wilson, Marvin Mims, and Jamari Thrash. Correlating, got a triple stack with Deshaun Watson. But Dunze I have as a very, very big faller. He goes at ADP here. I think you'll be able to get him later. But that'll depend on what room you're in as well. Jefferson, Adams, strong start. Odunze, Cooper, Wilson, Mims, Thrash. Stops at 7. I would like to see an 8th wide receiver on this team. And I think you can stop at 5 running backs here. Although, I think, the Braylon Allen click you got him super after ADP, but I think this might have been the trap pick. Let's check the tight ends. Njoku, Kmet, and Jonnu. Yeah, I want a third tight end too, because I have Kmet as a faller from this ADP. So I would want a third tight end. Jonnu's, I think, a smash. So, especially at ADP, 178. I think it had to come from running back for draft capital wise. I would just want one more receiver. But nice team. Nice team from Logue. And Steph and Jeff on the back of the draft. Lamar and Baker Mayfield. I'm cool with the capital here. White at 63, which is very nice. I think he does settle somewhere close to this, but this is even later than we have him ranked. Zamir White at 87. Again, this is what happens when you're drafting with ranks too. Zamir here at 87, and I still think there's room for movement. So, future value, in my opinion. Brian Robinson Jr. at 111, just a safe click right now. Rico at 135. I'm going to have trouble with Rico at 135. I get Zeke is the best case scenario for Rico. You didn't want a young superstar running back coming in. Even like Brooks was a big one, but even Benson, I think, Could have been a challenge for Rico. He gets Zeke. It's best case scenario, but 135 seems like a fan pick. Seems like a fan pick step. Jerome Ford at 154, which I don't mind, and then Will Shipley at 183 in Philly. I like Will Shipley. He's got a lot of wiggle. Dude, like watch his tape, a lot of wiggle. Just the way that Philly uses their RB2 and RB3 is very balanced. So I could see him sharing with Gainwell. They don't do like a clear RB2, like he's getting 30% of the work, Saquon's getting 70. There's always like that number 2, that number 3 guy, whether it's, Gainwell and Boston Scott or um, it makes it a little thin for me. I would have rather either no running back go there and then go with Gainwell, but Shipley here at 183, he is the more fun click rather than Gainwell. I will say that. Amon-Ra, Ayuk, DK, Chris Godwin, Tyler Lockett. I like the wide receiver room, especially through 5 rounds here. Jerry Jeudy, Luke McCaffrey, and Jalen Hyatt with Kincaid and Juwan Johnson. Just super balanced team from Steph. Super balanced team. Yeah, Hurts is going to post so many touch. Yeah, I think he's set to 11 touchdowns on the ground, underdog pick'ems. So Jeff here in the 11th spot, 2682 with Mahomes and Staffy. That's balanced. Gibbs, Brooks. Oh, God. The rookies galore here. Lean in. Jonathan Brooks, Blake Corum, Ray Davis, Garendo, and Keaton Mitchell. Man, I'm such a stand for having at least a little bit of floor. I think one pick in here in this range, just give me a little bit of floor from like an Antonio Gibson type to sort of house these rookies until they can find a role, especially with Jonathan Brooks. Like a team like this, you really need production out of the gate. But with Gibbs at 14 is nice. Puka, Cooper Kupp, Terry McLaurin, Lad McConkey at 83, Shakir, Polk, Demario Douglas, Demarcus Robinson, pairing him with Staffy, so getting that triple there. And goes with Kelsey and Bauer, so double elite tight end, which is much cheaper this year than it was last year. And Bowers at 86 is close to where I think he should fall, maybe a little further. Carson, I don't think the Eagles would be very good anyway, as good as we're used to at least. Yeah, last year I think was a little demoralizing for them, losing so early into the playoffs. But nice draft from Jeff. Maybe just one little piece there at running back to give me a little bit of weekly floor to give your team a better chance to advance. But BBM5 number 1 draft in the books. Appreciate everyone coming out. If you guys enjoyed tonight's live stream, go down, slap the like. If you enjoyed the content, watch for more than 3 minutes. Hit the sub. We'll catch you on the next one. Pounders.